Hi, I'm Chuck with IWS Sales, and welcome. It's a beautiful fall morning here in Idaho. There's just a little bit of a nip in the air, and it's just a great time of year. And I'm really excited to be able to share with you this 2023 Newmar Bunkhouse model. And I think the big focus point today is going to be on the bunkhouse as well as occupant safety, and talk a little bit about chassis. So that's going to be the theme of this coach. I do want to get a few things out of the way. First thing is I follow Coach Prime and the Colorado football team, so please no haters because I'm wearing sunglasses. It's just so bright. I'd have to do this all with my eyes closed. So please give me a little slack there. I'll guarantee you I'll have them off when I get inside of the coach. I don't want to be disrespectful. I really value your time that you're spending to watch this video. The other thing is I want to also get this out. This is going to be a long, drawn out video because I really want to go over some things, especially for first-time RV buyers. And I think that's the thing that's got us where we are is really trying to make sure you're an informed purchaser when you come visit us or when you go visit any other RV dealer. There are so many subtle differences in coaches, especially in chassis, that can really make the difference between having a white knuckle ride or being able to sit back, smoke a cigarette, drink a beer, watch YouTube all while you're driving. It all, there's all difference. Of course, I'm just joking about that. I would never watch YouTube while I'm driving my motorhome. All right, so let's get into pricing of this coach. We're asking $427,850. If you watch this video and you go in there and tell them Chuck sent you, it's an even $427,800, okay? That's something you can count on. Well, there's so many things to go over on this chassis. I'm going to actually refer to some notes because I really want to quote verbatim what Freightliner has to say about this coach. And especially when it gets into what makes this chassis different than others. Okay, I really want to get into the nuts and bolts of this chassis and really explain to you, as I mentioned before, all of the differences that you really could help you become a really informed purchaser when you're looking at chassis. So this is a Freightliner M2-106 chassis, and this is a vocational chassis. What makes this thing 106 is it's 106 inches from the back of the cab to the front of the chassis. So it's 106 inches long. That will help you as you filter through the different models. There's also a 112 chassis that's 6 inches longer hood that would have a larger series engine in it. I think this is the perfect chassis for this length of coach. Has great visibility. It drives just like a sports car. I'm telling you, it's something else. But now let's just get back into the chassis. So one thing, it has a double frame rail in it. And as far as I know, I don't know of any other motorhomes in this class that are offering that as a package. Why would you want a double frame rail? Why you would want that is because it makes the chassis more rigid when you're going through twists as well as in the flexing. So it just helps to keep everything in alignment. Think about it as just a really good foundation that you're starting to build from. So I was quite impressed to see that Newmar is offering that in these chassis now. The other thing that I want to point out is it has air disc brakes in the front. So air disc brakes, very similar to the normal brakes you drive, but the standard S-cam brakes on the front are maybe a little more touchy. The air disc brakes is an upgrade and it's a lot more driver friendly. It's definitely something I would want on my own personal coach. Other things, LED headlights, anti-lock braking system. It's got a chassis disconnect battery switch in here. Air horns, doesn't sound like a big deal, but sometimes when you got to get somebody out of the way or get somebody's attention, it's really nice to be able to lay on that air horn. LED turn signals. One of the things that Steve pointed out to me that we don't talk about is the windshield. Windshield replacement on this Freightliner is probably around $400 total for the whole entire windshield, labor and everything. Where a Class A coach may be in the $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to change that, and a big production to be able to do it. Most glass companies can come change this out right at your residence. It's something that's really nice. But this is the part where I really wanted to make sure that I had the wording correct from Freightliner. When it comes to safety, especially when you're running a bunkhouse, because most of you will be hauling children or grandchildren, that's a big consideration when selecting a coach. And I've said before on all the videos, I'm really not qualified to talk about safety standards. But what I can tell you is what Freightliner in their own words said. This particular unit is an aluminum cab construction that is designed and tested for occupant protection. So that gives me just an extra level of confidence. I can't speak to any other coaches out there, but I can definitely speak to this chassis because this is in Freightliner's own words. Other things is it has the premium upgraded insulation package in it to help keep the sound noises down as it's quieter. Another thing is, and we're going to talk about it when we get into the rear suspension, this thing has a 25,000 pound rear axle. That means if you were to put this coach on the scale, it could weigh up to 25,000 pounds on the rear axle. That's what it's designed to handle. Most coaches in this class are anywhere from 21 to 23,000. So this is definitely a step above. So it's very important that you go into these things knowing exactly what you're looking at. Even the radiator size, this has 1,100 square inch aluminum radiator in it, 300 amp alternator. All these things just continue to enhance and add to the drivability of this coach. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything else. We're going to talk a lot about getting inside of it. Oh, here we go. Warranties. This coach right here has a 5-year 100,000 mile chassis warranty, 5-year 100,000 mile engine warranty, and a 5-year unlimited mile transmission warranty. It's just impressive to know that for 5 years, you're virtually covered on everything regarding the chassis, and that's what we're talking about right now. So with that being said, let's move around and talk about some of the features. While I'm right here at the driver's compartment, you see you've got real nice, easy entry steps. It's very easy to open the door. You got multiple grab handles to climb inside of the coach. I really like being able to pull up to a truck stop, to be able to climb right out, have access to the fuel tanks, and not have to walk through the coach. Lockable fuel cap. It has dual fuel tanks, so there's a 50-gallon fuel tank on each side. So we have that going on here. All right, powered mirrors, so fully adjustable mirrors on it. We're going to move around here to the front and talk about, here's the LED headlights. You have tow hooks right here, not that you're ever going to need to be towed. This is a forward-facing camera on it. This has a 360-degree view camera. I tell everybody as I get older, I become a menace on the highway. I just bought a new Ford pickup. Normally I get one every 10 years. I got one earlier because it has the big screen, and I love that 360 camera when I'm trying to park. Incredibly good option to have on these coaches. And then I'm going to go ahead and tilt the hood here, and we're going to go in and talk about the engine. Before I do want to point out the 3-piece front bumper. So you can see this seam right here. So if you ever do hit anything and this bumper folds in right here, you can just replace one wing. You don't have to replace the whole bumper. Just a little thing that comes out of the trucking industry. And that's why, you know, these trucks have such a warranty. This thing's designed to go 500, 600, 800,000 miles without needing an engine replacement. The absolute best thing you can do if you own this coach is get out on the road and drive the hell out of it. Get out and enjoy the world. That's what this is all about, and this is an absolute platform to help you do that. Let's go open the hood. All right, we got the hood tilted up, and one of the things I want to point out is just having access to get into the engine compartment, should you ever need to. I doubt most people, when they own this, will ever need to get underneath the hood. I suppose you could check the engine oil once in a while, but this is a Cummins L9 engine, makes 360 horsepower and produces 1,150 foot-pounds of torque. And the reason I say I doubt most people will ever tilt the hood is on this engine alone, the service interval in normal duty, which this coach would be going through, Cummins recommends you change the oil at 50,000 miles. So as I always say, King of the Hill Hank, he always says, I change the oil every 3,000 miles or when I get bored. Really, the only reason to open this hood is if you get bored and you just want to look underneath here. But geez, if you ever do need to get in here, everything is easy to get to. Everything is easy and accessible. And why is that important? Well, when it comes to getting this thing serviced, and all things mechanical do break down. Something I've learned in all of my years selling these things in tow trucks. And when you have an issue, these Freightliners, this particular cabin chassis, there almost isn't a city in the United States where there isn't somebody that can work on this thing. It's very natural to them. Farm trucks are running this same chassis, beer trucks, delivery trucks, furniture trucks, all of them are running these chassis, so they're very user-friendly and they're very comfortable for people to work on. Where a Class A, very challenging. I say it in all my videos, I think. When it comes to getting these things towed, just call a couple local towing companies and tell them you have a 37-foot Class A motorhome and see if they'll even tow you. Most companies won't tow you. Now tell them you have a 37-foot Class C motorhome with a Freightliner M2 chassis, and you're going to get a complete different response from the towing companies. They're very easy to tow, they're very easy to attach to, and they're very serviceable. So hopefully that's enough said about the engine, but just trust me, this thing is right powered to move this thing down the road. When I had mine, I could my motorhome with this same chassis, I felt I could drive faster than you could with a pickup because I didn't have to stop and fuel up as much and go to the bathroom. I don't know. I'm babbling and going on, but it's, our speed limit out here is 80 miles an hour, and everybody says, I'd never drive my motorhome 80 miles an hour. And I'm not saying yes or no to that. What I am saying is when I go on test drives with people, I'll look over and I'm like, hey, I thought you said you wouldn't drive 80 miles an hour. And the customer goes, oh, I didn't even realize I was driving that fast. They're so easy and comfortable to drive. That's just what happens over and over. All right, now we're going to close the hood and just begin our journey back and go through some of the other features on this coach so that you're aware of again, the difference between this one and some other brands on the market. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit, well, actually, we're going to talk a lot about the outside of this coach and really what separates it. One thing that, I want to address right away is just the insulation value of this coach. And that's something that most coach builders don't want to talk about. So this coach has thermal pane windows, so it has insulated windows. That's something most coaches don't offer in the Class C world. So you really need to get into more of the luxury Class C. And even in them, sometimes they don't offer. So make sure you watch for that box. Makes a huge difference in how many times the heater comes on and in just overall enhanced enjoyment of the coach. So let's continue down the insulation road. This has R19 in the roof. Why is that important? Well, to me, it's very important because you have that sun pounding down on the roof all the time. And if you're in Arizona, Vegas, places like that where it gets really hot, you're going to really appreciate having that R19 in the roof, as well as a white roof to help bounce those rays off. Then when we get into the walls, this has an R11 in the walls, and then the floor is an R16 in the floor. So you put all that together and you have a really nice insulation package, and that it just continues to add to the experience of owning an RV, a luxury RV, okay? Next thing is the paint. I mean, the paint pretty much speaks for itself. I wish you had a chance to fill these things, but it's all painted on, clear coated. an immense amount of pride goes into the paint on these coaches. Newmar's just, I mean, they're known for quality, and this is like the signature of the brand, right? What it looks like going down the road. The other thing we're going to point out is up here above that center window, you can see the camera. That's another one of the 360 cameras that puts the view all together for you. And then you're going to see these LED side lights. So, geez, way back when we first built our first coaches, I wanted lots of lights around it. So we started designing our IWS lighting package. And now Newmar has really just adopted that. And we're pretty proud to say that that's something that we come up with. Why is it important? Well, let's just say you're parked at a Walmart parking lot at 1 o'clock, or you're maybe not Walmart's not a fair thing to say. You're out alone, you're parked alongside of the road, and you hear a bump in the night. You can hit a button, turn all the outside lights on, and you're going to illuminate that entire perimeter. Heck, this 4th of July, we were down at the fireworks show, and we took our RV, we're having a nice night, and when the fireworks were over, the entire park went dark. And we were able to turn on our lights, and people could see as they were walking back and forth to their cars. It's just a great option they have. Why not spend a few extra bucks and just take this thing and make it the ultimate, okay? As we back up and look at it, you can see you got aluminum wheels on it. We did little things. We did an upgrade and upgraded to chrome door handles instead of the standard black, just little things. This coach has remote control baggage compartment doors. So when you want to get access to them, you just hit the remote on your key fob and we open up the door. I'll go ahead and open up this first compartment. So this first box, this is where the batteries are housed. This coach has 8 6-volt lead acid batteries. So you have plenty of voltage to run TVs, microwaves, pretty much anything you want without running the generator. So all night long is what I'm trying to say. Another neat thing about this coach, and it's just things that, you know, when people see prices of coaches and one's more than another, typically there's a reason why, and you really got to go line item to understand it. This coach has 2 solar systems on it. So the first set of solar panels charges the house batteries, which are these. Then Newmar added another smaller solar panel that is dedicated to the chassis batteries. So you're charging both of them anytime you're out inside of the sun. And that's just, I think that's how am I trying to say this? That's an option I would encourage you to ask for on any motorhome you get. What a great, great option that they've done on that. Oh, another thing, serviceability. You can pull the pin right here and this thing slides out on rails so you can service your batteries without having to climb in there. Okay, we're gonna keep moving back. Okay, all right, now we're gonna go ahead and open up the generator storage box. So this has the Cummins Onan 8,000 kilowatt diesel generator in here. And what's very interesting about this, if you do your research, is this is basically a Kubota tractor engine with a generator put on it. So it's designed to run hours and hours and hundreds and thousands of hours. If you read the owner's manual on this, Cummins will tell you they want you to run this thing. They'd prefer you run it 2 hours at a time instead of 20 minutes at a time. This thing is a workhorse. I've always questioned when people bring in a motorhome and they brag, you know, I don't have hardly any hours on my generator. I'm like, inside, I'm like, dang it, get out and enjoy it. Run the hell out of that thing. That's what this thing is for. Don't be afraid to hit the start button. Don't be afraid to use this thing. Life is for the living, right? This isn't no practice life. So get out and use these things. That's what they're meant to do. All right, I'll get off my high horse and move to the next next compartment. Okay, inside of here, this is where you're gonna find quite a bit going on as far as the electrical goes. Here's your powered cord reel. Here's your Magnum inverters. I believe Magnum is to be at the top end of the inverter chain. It's what I spec for in my own personal coach. You can also see, this is where you could bring in data for outside satellite if you're going to have a dish outside, or if you're going to hook up to direct cable connections, all of that's going to occur right here. Okay, now we're going to go back to this next compartment. All right, here's your hose reel so you can pull it out. You can notch that in there to close the door. Another neat thing about this is you can wash the whole thing out, and then you have this drain plug right there, so everything just goes on out. Here's your low point drains, hot, cold. This is where you turn your water pump on and off. You have a little outside shower right here. Whole house water filter. This is your fill station, whether you're going to do manual or off of the other one. Sewage rinse right here, and your open and close valves. Okay, I'm going to move back into this compartment right here. And this is the hydraulic system that drives the slides, most of the slides, and as well as the jack legs, the leg stabilizers underneath it. This is your sewage connection, and as my son Ben calls it, the stinky slinky gets stored in here. And this is really actually a really nice touch, because when you have that sewer hose, it's really, it's like, where do I put it? You know what I mean? It's kind of like Talladega Nights. What do I do with my hands, you know? What do I do with the stinky slinky? Well, you put it right here. Another thing I got to encourage everybody is don't use a motorhome and try to dump the septic until you've watched Robin Williams in RV. That's an absolute must do before you use this. All right, now we're going to talk about the rear axle. Actually, before I do want to point out this is really a nice little feature, and this is a midship turn signal. So it's going to be blinking in the middle of the coach. Really helps when you're looking in your mirror to be able to see that this turn signal's on, and anybody that may be here is going to see that you're about ready to turn. Well, now that we're about to talk about the axles, the dog started barking, the neighbor's starting to put up a woodshed behind his house, but we're gonna persevere. So I want to go back to my notes to make sure that I have all the absolute weights, because this is this is a very important topic when you're selecting a coach. And, you know, growing up in the towing industry, I was a instructor for Wreckmaster, so we taught towing and recovery around the world, actually. Weight is really what's important. What are you trying to do with the vehicle? What can it haul? And all of them things really come into play. So let's talk about gross vehicle weight rating and axle ratings. So on this particular coach, the rear axle has a gross axle weight rating of 25,000 pounds. So if you were to put this motorhome on a scale and you were to weigh just the rear axle, Freightliner says it could weigh up to 25,000 pounds. That's what it's designed to move, and that's what it's designed to stop. The front axle on this is a 16,000 pound front axle. So Freightliner says the front axle is designed to drive up and down the road weighing a maximum of 16,000 pounds. So if you put those two numbers together, you come up with 41,000 pounds gross combination weight rating, gross vehicle weight rating. So what Freightliner is saying is, if I put this motorhome on a scale, it's designed to transport total weight of up to 41,000 pounds. Move it up the hill, slow it down going downhill, stop it. The parking brake's designed for it. The transmission's designed for it. The radiator's designed for it. All these design components are designed to support 41,000 pounds. So that's the maximum it could weigh. Now we got to deal with what's called curb weight. What is it, or static weight? What does it weigh right now? So we went and weighed this coach, and this coach weighs 33,408 pounds as it sits right here, which means we have approximately 7,600 pounds of capacity left. So I'm just going to round 33,400 pounds actual weight, subtract that from the 41,000 that Freightliner says it could weigh, and we have a capacity left of 7,600 pounds. That means you could put 7,600 pounds in this and still be compliant with the manufacturer's rating. So kind of put that in perspective. That's probably a 4-door Ford F-250 you could haul on top of this. So you have lots of capacity left. I don't know of anybody that's going to put 7,000 pounds worth of groceries and shoot. Well, my wife might with her clothing, but outside of that, just joking, dear, I love you. 30 years together. I love you with all my heart. All right, here we go. I'm going to transition out of that and move on to the back compartment. All right, now we're going to move back into these last two compartments on this side. Here is the Oasis hydronic heating system. And I'm going to go ahead and move around in front because this is a big confusion for a lot of people what this thing actually does. So what this is a boiler, and it's diesel fired or electric fired. And what it does is it heats up glycol, antifreeze, and it gets it hot and it circulates it through the coach. And inside of the coach, there's little heat registers, radiators inside the coach. And as a room gets cold, a fan comes on, blows across the register, and it warms the coach inside. If you're off the grid, you can use it straight diesel powered. If you're at an RV park, you can plug it in and use it as an electrical. You can also use a combination of both. I like really super hot showers, so when I'm plugged into the wall, I'm actually going to use the burner just when I'm taking showers. Here's the road vac. Central vacuum is located right here. Okay, here's your pass-through storage area for long things. Fishing poles, skis, totem poles. I'm trying to think of everything that I've ever needed on a trip. But I'm telling you, if you get somewhere and you're 300 miles from home and you want to buy something long, you come back and you're like, where do I put this thing? Well, you put it right there. Another neat feature is there's a 30 amp RV plug right here. So if you run one power to an air conditioner on your trailer, if you want to plug in your neighbor's trailer, your kid's trailer, you have all of that option right here with this power. And you can see the notch right here for it. There's also a 110 outlet back here as well. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and turn the coach around and talk about the back of it. All right, so we've got this coach turned around. The neighbor's gaining ground with his impact gun over there, so I'm going to keep trying to make this a little faster. Look, here's the back of the coach, and what's pretty cool about the Newmar is you have this handle right here that when you pull, this compartment opens up. And I absolutely love this. I'm a guy that likes to be the most prepared RVer on the road, and I can carry extra oil back here. I got my paper towels, my Windex. There's just all kinds of room to put those things, and I don't have to bend down and get underneath the coach. I can stand right here and I have access to it. Another nice thing is you have this really nice storage compartment that's pretty deep going this way. I don't have my tape. I'm saying it's probably 48 inches deep and a good 36 to 40 inches wide. Nice place to put a little table. And again, everything is up at working height. So I really like having this feature on the coach. They've also got a night light right here that you can turn on and off. Go ahead and close this guy up. Okay, now we're back here. So you know, I'm always a fan of these nice, simple truck lights. You can easily replace them. Although in reality, you'll probably go a lifetime and never need to replace one of these. You got your other backup lights back here. All right, this coach has 20,000 pound towing capacity. So to put that in perspective, an average 24-foot cart hauler with a car in it, you're probably gonna weigh in somewhere between 7,000 to 10,000 pounds. So you've got plenty of towing capacity to handle just about any job out there that you want to do. Also have really good backup camera. Again, there's that IWS outside light that we really like, perimeter lighting for at night. Works great if you got to hook up your trailer in the middle of the night. Everything is just meant to enhance your experience. All right, I think that's enough on the back. We're going to just keep working our way around the coach, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you what's going on inside of this compartment. Here's the slide out storage tray. And it really helps you to maximize the storage of the hard to reach stuff. It also helps with some of the longer stuff that you can put on there. I like a cooler on here to slide the cooler out, and then I can get access to that. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and keep moving forward. Here's just another large storage compartment. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the TV compartment, and I'm gonna open it up kind of slow because I want you to know that it has a 2-stage shock system. So if it's very sunny outside, you can leave it at this stage. Sitting in your chairs, you have visibility. Most people tend to watch these in the evening, and then you'll open it up all the way. It's also pretty cool that it's just stuck to a magnet. So then you can pull it out and you can swivel the TV either way. And then locking it back in is just as simple as pushing it until the magnet takes over. You also have a Bose Bluetooth soundbar there. A lot of times it's nice just to play music, stream music off of your phone through that if you don't want to watch TV. So just pretty handy. I didn't think I would use a TV much, but now after having one in our coach, I really have come to enjoy having it. This is just another storage compartment. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you this last compartment over here. And one thing that's kind of a neat thing that most people don't even know about, on this coach, there's a hot water spigot right here. But what's so neat about it is you can use the freshwater slinky, not the stinky slinky, but get one of the stretch cord hoses that shrink and extend. You can hook it on here. That's connected to the water pump. Take that hot water hose around and spray it on your windshield when you have bugs, and it just makes cleaning that windshield that much easier. But don't tell anybody about that. Let's keep it just between me and you. But that's a nice little tip. And again, everything just goes to enhancing your time on the road, okay? You can also use that to wash out coolers, a lot of other things. It's just really neat to have hot water right there. Okay, I'm not gonna waste a lot of time showing you all of the slides. I think Scott's gonna catch all that in the B-roll, showing them going in and out so you can see what they look like. I wanna go ahead and take you inside of the coach. Lots of little things. Lighted grab handle. Doesn't seem like much, but when you come back to the coach at night, it's really nice to have a little bit of light right there. Usually we don't want to leave all of our lights on because the neighbors can get upset, but it's nice to have a lighted grab handle. It's also nice to be able to have a key code entry so I don't have to pack my keys with me. It also has a little doorbell feature on that. Here's another neat thing. They have a full hydraulic step system. And look how far out that comes so that you don't have a big, huge, high first step on it. So it's very easy to go on up into the coach. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see me back here, but it's not really that important. What we really wanted to show was accessibility with the slides in, because that is an important deal. Especially if you're traveling with kids and you're gonna pull over, we need access to the bathrooms. Maybe you wanna take a nap and you're in a truck stop and you don't wanna run the slides out. I wanted to show you how it is with the slides in. And it's a little tight on this coach. As you can see, I've turned sideways and I can make my way through here. Now this is where I would go into the bathroom, so I could make this work no problem myself. Most kids, it's not going to be an issue. They have access to there, but this is definitely something, you need to be thinking about. There's 9 inches. So this is probably about 16 inches. I'll make sure we add that in the video. We'll get a full tape measure so you can see, it is pretty tight if you do need access to the back. Now here we are in the kitchen area and I can move around pretty good. I got access to the refrigerator, making a sandwich and all that's very easy. I can sit down in the booth with the slides in. I like the idea of being able to stretch out right here and maybe take a nap without having to put the slides out. So you have all that. Now here's the trade-off. It is pretty tight with the slides in, but wait till we open this bad boy up. And that's the trade-off. One of my favorite quotes is Newton's third law, and he says for every actual action, there's an equal and opposing reaction. So it's a little tight when it's small, but it makes it bigger when it's open. I want to talk a little bit about this grab handle, and you know, I'm trying to make this coach video just to inform you, but I also have to tell you why I think you should choose IWS. One, we have a stellar reputation, but we really try to think forward. We try to innovate, and we really listen to our customers. So we went to a Newmar rally about 2 years ago, and I was polling customers as they went through the coach. What was the one thing you would like to see different? And they said they wish they had a grab handle here. So at IWS, we actually purchased this through Newmar. This is off of one of their other coaches, and we install it so you have a really good grab handle as you go in and out of the coach. You know, I don't know if there's another RV dealer on the planet doing that, but we really care about our customers, and we just want to enhance your experience. And why not spend a couple $100 more to do what we believe is the right thing for our customers? Okay, a little more about IWS. When you buy a coach from us, you're going to get an iPad that we provide that has our IWS Advantage package on it. And what we do in that is we video the operations of this, and we embed them into the iPad, and we don't share them publicly. Them are exclusively for the people, our customers. So you can watch little videos. So if you don't remember how to run the generator programming that you'll see in here, if you don't remember how to do the auto gen start or how to program it to come on for the air conditioning, you can watch our quick little videos. We also have a private link that'll take you into our website to our customers only. When you become a customer of ours, we carry a service cell phone. Somebody in our shop does 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when you call anytime, day or night, we're going to be there to answer you. We only offer that for our customers. I know people in our community get upset because we don't work on anybody else's motorhome except for our customers, or Newmar or their customers will work on them. Okay. So you can operate this coach in many ways. One, off of our iPad using the Newmar app. You can also operate it off of the touch screen, and you can also operate all the functions right here. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these, but one of the first things I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and close the step cover here. See, this comes out. Okay. So now we're going to talk about these manual functions that are right here above the door. This is the Oasis hydraulic heating controls. This is where you can turn the burner on, the diesel burner, or you could turn it to AC power if you're plugged in, or you can run them both. These are the slide outs for the door side slide outs, as well as this switch here shows your security lights that I talk about. The IWS security lights. This is your exterior step lock out. This is the HW8 leveling feed on it. It's fully automatic, so you can just push auto level and the jacks are going to come out and self-level the coach. This is a voltage control, as well as you have your Magnum control right here. This controls the generator, the auto start functions. You can program this so we can set your coach up, and we teach you in our Advantage videos that we can set the air conditioner to come on at 80 degrees, and we can program the generator to come on when it senses the coach is at 75 degrees. So the generator will start and be running. When the temperature of the coach comes up, the air conditioner will kick on. Lots of functions. Can be very overwhelming when you first see it, and that's why we put such an emphasis into our Advantage videos for our customers only, to help guide you through that. And then if you get lost on all that, just pick up the phone and we'll answer the phone. All right, this is your awning controls. This is the Winegard digital TV antenna controls. This is your solar panel information that shows you the voltage coming in for your solar panel. And then you just have other switches here that I'm not going to go through. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this shade, which is another nice feature. Now we're going to just begin our journey as we run the slides out and talk a little bit more about the inside of the coach. All right, well, as you can see with the slides out, there's all kinds of room in here, you know, lots and lots of room. Quite impressive. So some of the things that we probably don't talk a lot in the video is I want to make sure we get a little bit of a shot of the ceiling detail. You don't see big, ugly air conditioning vents sticking down. It looks just really, really nice up there. Well, I want to go ahead and sit down here. Remember, the theme of this video was occupant safety, because you're going to be typically carrying people if you buy this coach because of the bunk bed package. So both of these recliners have a seat belt, and also the forward-facing dinette booth has one seat belt. So you have 2 people secured in the front, and you can have up to 3 people seat belted in the coach when you're traveling down the road. It's got a nice storage compartment here with this slide tray inside of it, so you can put a lot of games and stuff in there. So, and I like this for the kids traveling, you know, they can play games right here, so they have a lot of room right here. You also have electronic controls right here. I'm going to go ahead and run this out so you can get a feel for, you know, just how it is. Again, I'm 6 foot and pretty dang comfortable. I would like a pillow back here, me personally, but it's pretty dang nice. And as you'll see here as we go through the video, the televator is straight across from us, so you have a nice view of the TV. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get up, take you through the kitchen. Okay, I'm not gonna go through every single cabinet on the coach, but I do want to talk about a few things here. Just some really nice big drawers. Full slides, so they come way out, which is pretty dang nice. But this is pretty cool. So cutting boards are built into the underside of the stove covers. That's cool, but this is what's really cool. You can take this true induction cooktop and just pick it up and unplug it and take it right outside of the coach and plug it in outside, and have your cook stove right outside, which is pretty dang awesome. So you don't have to carry propane with you. Okay, I'll show you a little bit more about the sink over here. I'll stick these sink covers over. You can see you've got a residential style pull-out faucet. I get this thing come back together. Also have a nice fold-up cabinet extension right here, just to give you a little more of a walk-around storage area. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit about the pantry. As you can see, you have all of these slide-out drawers, full length, which is pretty dang handy. Just push them once and they unlock, and then they slide out. Here you can see you've got a Whirlpool residential size refrigerator with double doors. Also has built-in water maker, or built-in water, which again goes back to having kids, as it's a nice option for this coach, as well as a slide-out freezer down here. Okay, we can go ahead and sit down in the dinette. As I mentioned earlier, there is a seat belt in this particular seat, the forward-facing seat of the dinette. You also have the televator right here. I'm going to go ahead and cue that to come up while I'm talking. There's also USB outlets and 110 outlets, so I'm always thinking of traveling with grandkids, that they can be plugged in, or even adults. We want to have our cell phone or laptop plugged in. This is a great workstation. One thing I just thought about is I'm going to see if we can't just link my laptop right to this, and then I can use this as a monitor for my computer. I'm sure we can make that happen. Anyways, this dinette does make into a bed. I will tell you, it's only meant for Oompa Loompas or people under about 4 foot tall, so it's not super practical, but it is an option if you have small kids. I think it would work good if you built a barricade with infants. Could work really good right over here. I know when our kids were really little, they liked to sleep underneath this. It was pretty funny. Make a fort out of it. All right, I'm gonna keep moving and we're gonna go through the back of the coach. Okay, here we are in the middle of the coach, and remember this was the bunkhouse model, so the theme of this coach is all about you know, extra occupants and safety and all of that. So here's the upper bunk. You can see you have your own television with it. They got a 110 outlet here. There's also another 110 outlet and a USB charger. Again, it seems like everybody wants to be connected, and keeping power to all of their devices is important. This has a 250-pound load rating on it. And then here's the lower bunk as well. I'm gonna go ahead and hop down in there so you can see what it's like. So hopefully I put on matching socks today, as my mother always warned me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get down inside of here. And yeah, I can sleep in here at 6 foot. We won't talk about the we won't talk about my LBs. Okay, one more thing that I want to point out about this bunk area is there are storage boxes. As you can see, there's 3 of them. See if I can do this somewhat gracefully. And they're pretty dang deep drawers. So lots of storage underneath here. Okay, now we're gonna move from the bunk area, and I want to talk a little bit about this touchscreen here in the midship of the coach. It's pretty basic. You can see you have the home button. This shows you fresh tank, gray tank, black tank capacity, as well as house and chassis voltage. You can turn all the lights off. You can turn all the lights on. Lots of function. And then throughout the coach, there's also manual functions to operate the lighting package within that zone. But this is pretty handy for me. You can also come in here and program and see your auto gen start programming in here, and you can also do the programming from here, as well as setting the temperature controls on the HVAC. And then it also has the Bluetooth capabilities, so you can connect it to our iPad. And don't worry, we'll have all that done for you. And we also will have an Advantage video to show you how to use all of this. All right, we're gonna move into the bathroom, and it is a little bit tight in here, but I do wanna talk about a few things. One is, you'll notice at the bottom, there's the dust tray vent, so for your vacuum, so you can just sweep your debris right over there, open that vent up and just sweep it right in it, and it'll suck it down into the vacuum down in the storage compartments. There's lots of storage in here. This coach is equipped with a water miser. And really simply, if you don't have that, when you turn your hot water on, and let's say you're off the grid and you're just using the water storage you have on board, the water is just draining until it gets hot. With the water miser, it recirculates the water until it gets to the temperature you want, and then you can use it out of the shower. So it's really saving a lot of water for you. Why is that important? Let's just say you're camping off the grid in the mountains and you want to stay up there for 4 or 5 days. Saving an extra 2 to 3 gallons on every time you're heating the water for the shower could really prove valuable at the end of it. So it's a nice feature. You'll also see that there's a fold down teak bench inside of the shower. And we'll just let the video do the talking from here. All right, I'm gonna move into the bedroom now. And what's really cool about this coach is it has a sleep number bed, so you can just adjust it to, anyways, you know what a sleep number bed is, so I'm not gonna go into that. A really nice option on this coach. You also have outlets on each side, nice little nightstand, so if you're using a CPAP machine, you can set it there and you have a nice plug-in for it, as well as USB plug-ins to keep your cell phone charged. That ever important. My cell phone just tweeted right there. And then you also can see we've got washer and dryer back here inside of these compartments. And then in here you have your wardrobe compartment as well as a built-in safe. I didn't think a safe was that important to me until I started traveling, and it's kind of nice to be able to have that just to keep like your pistol put away if you got kids on the coach, and or your gold bullion if you travel with gold bullion like I do. It's kind of nice to put that in there. That pretty much sums up the rear of the coach. Now we're going to go ahead and move up and talk about the front end. Well, we made it up to the front of the coach, and those of you that have stuck with me so far, thank you for that. I hope you're finding this of some informational value to you. Well, here we are in the front of this Freightliner M2, and I'll start right here with the seat. There's a lever right here on the side, so you can tilt the seat back and forth. There's, I think, 6 different air adjustments from lumbar. You can raise and lower the seat with the airbags over here on these buttons. You got these ratcheting armrests that you can put at different heights. So pretty nice seating position. You also have this button so you can tilt and telescope the steering wheel. I think the thing that I like the most when I sit in a Class C, particularly when I'm talking Class C, I'm talking our luxury Class Cs on the Freightliner chassis. I love the seating position as it relates to driving my pickup. I sit in the same position in my F-250. The mirrors are at about the same exact location. I have about the same degree of hood slope or hood length. So just like my wife always says, it feels very natural driving this, okay? People talk about engine noise because the engine's in the front, and everybody that comes out and goes for a test drive with us, they don't even mention that. So that's really a moot point. I also like that I sit closer to my wife because we can hold a conversation. When we had a Class A, it felt like we were, as she always said, we were in a fishbowl, right? This huge window, and it was hard to hear each other. It's nice to sit right here. She can help me navigate. Oh, we can hold hands too when we're driving down the road. I also like just not having the mirrors way out in front like a bus. Another big comment about the Class C is, you don't realize it, but the wheels are inboard. So the front tire is almost in line with my left foot. When you're driving a Class A, it's wider in the cab, so you sit outboard of the tire. When you're in the passenger seat, you always feel like you're falling off the edge of the road because the body is wider than the tires, if that makes sense to you. It's a very uncomfortable sensation for a lot of people. A lot of people that trade in their Class A and buy a Class C from us tell us that they're no longer white knuckle when they're driving down the road. I love to pass people in my coach. You know, I have 600 horsepower and I'm passing them going down the road, and I look over and they're all stressed out, and we're just kicking back, just enjoying the highway. Like the song said, life is a highway, right? So other features about this coach. One, we've got our powered mirrors over here. Here's our air horn. We got storage compartments overhead. They have a red reading light. I don't recommend reading while you're driving, but it works great for the passenger. You also have lights there. Going to quickly go through all of this. Some of you are probably bored with my M2 tutorials, but a few things. This is a subwoofer for the sound system that they put in. Those of you that aren't Bluetooth connected yet, you can plug in right here and connect into the stereo. Here's your heating controls, all of the other functions. I don't think I covered it, but we have the overhead skylight in this, and this is where you can control that shade up and down on there. You got your house battery boost right here, so if the house batteries are dead, you can start the truck, the chassis, hold this in, and it'll automatically jump start the house batteries. You got air suspension valve right here to raise and lower the rear air suspension, which is really nice. If I'm parking on a hill, I can lower the rear air suspension down. Some of you have had an RV and with air ride like this one, and you put your jacks down and then the air ride settles, and then you go to lift your jacks up and you hear it's creaking on you. If you dump the air ride first, you won't have that problem. So that's another nice deal. Locking differential, very cool. You may not think you're going to use it in this coach, but I'm going to tell you, if you ever drop a tire, go to turn around and you hang a tire off an embankment or off the side of the road and that wheel is spinning, most motorhomes, you're done. You're calling a tow truck at that point. This one, you can just push this button and it's going to lock the other wheel and you're going to drive out. So you might go 3 or 4 years and never use it, but the day you use it, you will never once say, I wish I didn't have a locking differential. Air parking brake, again, we talk about 41,000 pounds. So if you're parked on a hill, you got to be able to hold that. So the parking brake is designed to hold that. Power windows, door locks, heated mirrors, 6-speed transmission, Allison transmission, 2-stage engine brake, lights on and off, cruise control over here, and turn signals. That pretty much sums up the inside of this M2. I hope this motorhome tour of this bunk model added some value. My goal was to try to center around people that maybe would be traveling with kids or multiple passengers. That's the purpose for owning a bunk bed. I suppose somebody with dogs, that would be a great spot to put a couple kennels as well. So a very versatile coach. I think 37 foot is just an ideal length because you can park it in 2 parking spots at Walmart. So an average parking spot is 18 to 20 feet long. You put 2 of them together, you're at 36 to 40 feet. So you can pull your motorhome in and park it. I used to have a coach in this similar length category, and when I was traveling, people would say, ooh, I don't know if you can get your motorhome in here. And I would always say, can I fit my 4-door F-250? And they go, yeah, no problem. I'm like, well, then I'm going to put that one in there, as long as I don't have any height restrictions. Very easy to drive. Absolutely a great coach. We want to be here to help guide you and help you navigate. If you get a chance, come by, hang out. We get a little lonely out here in Idaho. We're in a pretty remote area. I think our population is about 13,000, and it never seems to grow because it seems like every time a baby's born, another guy leaves town. So anyways, come see us. We like visitors. Thanks for sticking with us. If you like what you see, subscribe, and I hope to see you out on the road.